Hey guys, I come back. Okay, no guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Butterfly here, and I am back due to popular demand, as Mr. Shilongo likes to say it. I don't even know why he likes saying that. Someone actually pointed it out in the last video that he likes to say back to popular demand, like he doesn't want to be here. We see you, Mr. S, we see you. But anyways guys, so today I was just lying in bed trying to get ready to go back to work. I haven't been feeling well, but today I'm really so much better. I was lying there and I was celebrating that my son is finally 4 months old, and it was actually exactly today a year ago that I found that I was expecting him. So I was just sharing on my WhatsApp status how it's amazing how much can happen in a year. That few months before I fell pregnant, I posted on my WhatsApp status, pregnant with purpose. But that was because I was just busy with my quiet time and just minding my own business. And then I was getting so many congratulatory messages and things like that. And I was like, no guys, hold up, I am not pregnant. But then obviously 2 months later, I fell pregnant, and here we are with a whole human being who is 4 months old. So in my post, I was just like, even though this is about baby, I wanted to use it as a metaphorically to say that whatever you may be pregnant with, in the sense of whether pregnant with your purpose, a dream of a car, a house, a new job, new money, as I put it there, new clothes, food, trust, whatever you are trusting God for, whatever prayer that you may be having right now, you must just believe that it's all a matter of time. God sees you, God hears you, it is going to be birthed. Your purpose is going to be birthed. My purpose was birthed 4 months ago, when a year ago he was just a dream, he was just a prayer. And I really did pray for this child. So I want to encourage you that even if it is a child that you are praying for, maybe you are having infertility problems, you are struggling to conceive, do not give up the faith. Keep praying, keep hoping, keep trusting. And yeah, your purpose is gonna be birthed. Mine is finally breathing, and whatever it is that I may be wanting right now, he is a daily reminder that God really comes through, and it's always about God's timing. So yeah, I wanted to talk about the 4th trimester, as you can see from the video. Before I gave birth, our therapist was telling me I need to read up on the 4th trimester, just different things to expect. And yo guys, it's real. The 4th trimester is as real as all the other 3 trimesters that you go through in pregnancy. The postpartum period is so important that I don't even understand. Guys, can someone make me understand quick, why is maternity leave in our country only 3 months? And yes, someone may say that no, we can't be comparing to European countries, how they can have a year, 2 years, or 3 years for some. But the things that a woman goes through, or even just a man, the changes that a family goes through or a person goes through after bringing a child into the world, I think 3 months is not enough. But that's not even the biggest issue I have. The biggest issue I have is the fact that if you end up choosing to take maternity leave, official maternity leave, Social Security doesn't even pay your full salary. So now what I want to understand is, I'm looking at all the expenses I've had in the last few months, the bills I've had, like be it my own with the hospital or baby's own. How is it that I'm expected to have a salary cut after bringing in a new expense into my life? Does that make sense? I really don't understand how it makes sense. And I'm just thinking, when I'm taking leave, or when I'm taking maternity leave, so to say, it is not like you are employing someone else in my place that you will be paying, you get. So why can't I just get my full salary? It doesn't really make sense. And the fact that there's a maximum amount that they give everybody, for me, I also feel like that's unfair, because from my understanding, if you earn 10,000, you will get your full 10,000. But as long as you earn anything above 13,000, you will still just get 13,000. So, which doesn't make sense for me, because if I understand well, like the way I just see it, usually if you are earning so much, that means your expenses are probably also as much as what you're earning. So now where do you think those expenses disappear to when I give birth? I just mean, like, if I have a mortgage and a car, where do you think they disappear to in the 3 months that I'm on maternity leave? Like, hello, it doesn't make sense. But anyways, that's not the point of the video. That was just me ranting and just, you know, hitting it off on a different note. But yeah, let me be calm now. Let me be calm. I guess it's a policy, but can our policy change? Somebody, please, somebody do something. Can we write a petition, okay, or something? I don't understand this. I can hear my son. I just hope you guys can hear him so that I can focus on this video. So I wrote down a few things. I've been jotting down a few things in the last 3 months, in the first 3 months rather, that I wanted to now share. The whole point of this video is also just some things that I wish I knew, or things that I wish I was told or I wasn't expecting until I gave birth. And me ha poppy, but anyway, so the first trimester, this is reading something that from the app I have, What to Expect. It's I used to have What to Expect on Baby Center when I was pregnant, so they used to update me like every week, like through my pregnancy, what to expect and how big the baby is or whatever. And then when I gave birth also, it was like different milestones for you to expect for your child and things like that. So I really love it. So even they know what's the first trimester. Okay, of course they know. So it says that the first trimester, which is more commonly written as fourth, as in less than not 4 trimester, describes the postpartum period, which is starting from your baby's birthday until he has turned 3 months. So you know how pregnancy is 3 trimesters, like try is my 3, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. So now this is like the 3rd month after your 3 trimesters. So I know, so it probably doesn't make sense that 4th is trimester, but just get with the program, okay? So the term is believed to have been coined by a Dr. Harvey Karp, a pediatrician who theorized that human babies are born about 3 months too early, and it takes them about 12 weeks or 3 months for them to adjust to life outside the womb. Hence now this 4th trimester. So let me get into this video. I'm already taking up so much time. So what are the few things that I jotted down that I learned in the 4th trimester period? If the video becomes too long, I'll just divide it into 2 parts, okay? So the first trimester, the first thing I learned, or the first thing I didn't expect, was when I met my baby. I was overwhelmed there. Like, it's an overwhelming kind of love, but I was also overwhelmed and surprised, and maybe I was prepared, but I mean, like, every time I held my child, I was waiting for someone to come get him. I think I'm so used to every other baby, or every other baby I've had in my life, or like other people's children. I chill with the child, I play with the child, and then it's time to give the child back to mommy. It's time for mommy to feed the child. It's time for mommy to do this. But this was my own human being. This was my child. Like, I lay in that hospital bed and I'm like, okay, when is the mother coming? You know, like, it was just surreal. I didn't expect it to be like that. I knew I was going to be like excited and like overwhelmed maybe, but I didn't expect that I would also have a feeling of like, okay, I get to keep this child. Not even in the happiest way, like, oh my God, I get to keep him, but in a scary way also, like, oh my God, I get to keep him. Like, I'm responsible for this person. I can't just give him to someone else. He's now my responsibility. And even now, even when he grew up, like, he's crying, someone will be with him, playing with him, and then he starts maybe crying, wanting to feed, and then they're like, Elena, mommy, like, go to mommy. Even when his dad is playing with him, he'll be like, feeding time. And that's the other thing I didn't expect, that men think the breast solves everything. Like, you feed the child, and literally 15 minutes later, the daddy is with the child, and then suddenly the child is maybe fussy. He's like, feeding time, boob time. I'm like, hello, I'm not a cow. Like, can we just? So yeah, it was just that also, when I know that I am responsible for protecting this child. I'm responsible for everything about this child, and there's no mother coming to get the child. I am the mother. That is one of the things that for me, I really, really needed to be like, yo, okay, I didn't expect this. And that brings me to my second point. Spiritually, if I have to be honest, I feel like I was challenged. I was challenged in the sense that it was in a good and bad way. I'll start with the bad way. The bad way was in the sense that my devotion time, my time with God, my quiet time with God was challenged. I cannot tell you how many days in the last 4 months I was able, okay, let me just start saying 3 months because I'm talking about the first trimester. In the last 3 months, I was able to sit down quietly, have my Bible, and just do Bible study. I'll be lying to you if I tell you that I've had that time. And I cannot say I haven't had time to myself. I can have time to do things like shoot videos and maybe edit or have visitors or whatever, but mentally the focus of just sitting there to study my school books, I like workbooks, and my Bible, I have struggled. And I'm really trying to slowly get back on that wagon, but it's been a struggle. However, the plus side to this is that I don't think I have prayed more in my life than this period. I have had to rely on God so much for his strength. I've had to rely on him for strength. I've had to rely on him for guidance. I've had to rely on him for just simple things like really my own mental state, to keep me sane, like what is going on, and to protect my child. It's been really just a prayer pushing moment for me. And and another thing I forgot to add is that this whole process makes you understand God's love for you so much more. There's a verse that I just wanted to highlight that has come full circle for me, or at least I feel like I can say I understand it even better now after being a mom. It's Matthew chapter 7 verse 9 to 11 or 9 to 12. Let me just read it for you. It says that if one of you, basically it says, if your son asks you for bread, who of you will give them a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will you give him a snake? So if you who are evil know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father give good gifts to those who ask him? And I'm just thinking at the level where I am and what I'm willing to do for my child, or what I'm willing to give my child, how much more God? Like, if you just really think about that verse, like, God can give us everything basically, but if I'm only able to give, if I'm willing to give my child everything, and that's nothing compared to what God is willing to give me, then what measure of love does God have for me? Hi guys, I think if you can't even if you even try to compare your love for God, your love for your child with your love for God, it's okay. Because yeah, no. But anyways, if I have to be honest, it grew my faith. I know it sounds like, how do you don't spend time with God, like Bible wise, but like grew your faith. It grew my faith because I think of all the things in the Bible. I even have a newfound respect for Mary, Jesus' mother. I have a newfound respect for Abraham, Isaac's father. The fact that Abraham was able to give up his one and only son. He was about to sacrifice his child out of obedience to God. And I'm thinking like, wow. I'm looking at my cathedral here and I'm just thinking, imagine God telling you to give up this child. It's not an easy thing. Like, thinking about it human wise, it's really not a human thing. And look at Mary, her own only child, to give him up to die for our sins, us the sinners. Hey Charlie, me telling my angel to go die for people, the sinners, I don't know. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I've been challenged, and in a good way, a bad way, I don't know, but spiritually I really been challenged. And that's also where I'm like, I pray to God to work on my character as well, for me to be able to know that, like, one of the verses that we have put on baby's pictures is 1 Samuel 1:27-28, which is, I have prayed for this child. For this child I have prayed, and the Lord has answered my prayers, and I give him to the Lord. I dedicate him to the Lord. And that is what I keep praying, that Lord, I have prayed for this boy for real. So let me live my life in a way that I have to surrender my own maternal instincts, not instincts, but like surrender to my flesh and let you take over, and remember that you gave me this child. You are going to take care of this child. You are going to protect this child, and this child is from you. So I want to live my life knowing that we gave the name Israel, meaning follower of God, flock of God. And if I wanted to dedicate my child to be a follower of God, a flock of God, I have to surrender him into God's hands. So that's one of the things that I have to have constant reminders for me to do. So yeah, that I really also didn't expect. I really do think I'm going to have to cut this video because I'm already like far. Anyways, the thing that I also did not expect, I'm not even grouping this into the good things and the bad things. I'm just, everything that I learned, I was just jotting down. This one guys, I wish someone had told me. My mom says that she told me to prepare myself, but she didn't tell me all the details. So it was breastfeeding pain, nipple cracks, nipple pain, guys. Hey, hi, for me, that was the highlight of the pain. I had a C-section, and if you, okay, I hope you watched my birth video, but that pain that I felt from the Caesar is nothing compared to the pain I felt from the nipple cracks. So I had to go see a lactation consultant because I'm like, what am I doing wrong? The pain was so unbearable that sometimes I had to pump so that express so that my mom would feed the child through the night so that my nipples can rest. Now imagine having like what feels like a sore on your nipple and this child has to come and suck. Hey, yeah. Yo, okay, why my cousin said I must stop saying suck. Feed is a word. I remember one day I broke down in tears because, okay, that day I think I did have pain, the Caesar wound, and I had the sore nipples, and I couldn't, and the child is crying, and I couldn't. So my mom was like, I should express, and then they'll feed the child. And yeah, we tried everything. My mom even put scorpion on my nipples for the times now when the baby wasn't breastfeeding. Don't give it to baby, no. For the night when I'm not feeding through the night, we tried warm water with salt, with the nipple cream idea. We tried all those things, but then the important thing is really get a good nipple cream that has 100% lanolin and not the one that has other things like, can I say those names? Okay, maybe not. But the ones that have 100% lanolin, I know it's the Medelite and the Lancino. But the other ones, you have to wipe off before you feed the baby. So yeah, I advise you get the other ones. So yeah, that was for me very, breastfeeding itself was just, it's an art. It's like you are learning. A good latch is important because then the lactation consultant was like, she had to make sure that the baby's latching well. She realized the baby wasn't latching well because when I finished feeding, the nipple was like almost compressed, like kafakala mininma, or what do I call it? It wasn't like nice and round. So that's also a sign that the baby wasn't latching well. She's like, the baby must latch like opening from bottom to up like a hamburger, opening your mouth for a hamburger. I don't know how to explain it. Watch videos if you really want to know. But yes, I didn't expect that. I had engorged breasts. When I left the hospital, I told the doctor that I have this lump in my armpit. I don't know what it is. That lump developed, I remember, in December. I was pregnant at the time, but it didn't feel like an abscess. And I'm just like, from what, deodorant or roll-on, I don't know what it is, but it wasn't painful. So I let it go. And then when I gave birth, this lump started growing, and I didn't understand what it was. Then doctor was like, that's a swollen milk duct. She told me to go into the consultation. Hey, I went there. The nurse was trying to massage with this warm compressed what. I was crying. I cried. I didn't cry during, I almost said child labor, like I was pushing. But anyways, I didn't cry like any other day except that day. I was in so much pain. They are so painful. I even told her, like, just stop. Like, she was like, no, you end up developing mastitis and then, you know, breast abscesses, all these things. She's like, you should know these things. And I know these things, but I was like, let me go treat myself at home. So anyways, I waited. She gave me an injection first. I waited. Then she had to try and express. She was like expressing by hand for the milk to come out, for it to flow better, for me to get relief. I got relief eventually, but I had to be putting like warm compress. I put cabbage leaves in my bra. I was putting like a hot water bottle on, like, in my armpit and here, because now the milk are nearly to flow out. It was hectic. It was a lot. Even the letdown was a lot. Like, sometimes the child jumps off, and I really just didn't expect that. I also didn't expect this. You know, my mom was like, you know, when you're breastfeeding, you get that feeling where the milk is coming down. So in my head, I'm now thinking it's like a nice feeling there, like, wow, you know, my dear. It's like, it's that pulling, if feeling like you're being pulled. But let me not make it seem like it's all that bad. Like, it's not bad. I just wish I knew, then I was more prepared for these things. But once you're prepared, I think you got it good, because it's a really beautiful feeling. It's there's that moment of looking into each other's eyes, you and your baby, and breastfeeding, it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. I do know though that not everybody gets to breastfeed. Sometimes the milk is not enough, or for one reason or another. There are so many different reasons why women are not able to breastfeed, and that is okay, because it's not your fault. You can try different things. There are people that can take nursing teas. There's what is it, some who even give you Maxillan tablets at the hospital. There's different ways, and people have tried everything, but the milk is just not sufficient. And I know that is not anyone's fault. So whenever that's the case, just find a way to feed your child. For as long as you are not starving your child to death, you are doing the best. I used to drink jungle juice. How you make jungle juice is you take 1 liter of apple juice. It can be any apple juice, but preferably 100%. This is the only one I have inside, that's why I brought this one. And then you take one sachet of rehydrate. And how do you say it? When I say rehydrate, they come in like either the blackcurrant flavor, the vanilla flavor, the orange flavor. This is my favorite. The vanilla is also nice. The orange, I don't remember if I tried it, but yeah. But this is this is what you need. You take 60 ml of this, or 50 ml. I think there's also some instructions here on how you, this one says 50 ml of this Lechen Blackthorn Berry Elixir, this thing. And then 1 sachet of blackcurrant rehydrate, 1 liter of apple juice, and 2 liters of water. Mix it up, keep it in the fridge, and drink that preferably the whole day. It really helps. For some, maybe it doesn't help, but I know most people, it really helps with your milk supply. I didn't use any nursing tea or anything like that, because I think I do have good milk supply either way. But when I feel dehydrated or I'm losing a lot of fluid, in terms of like breastfeeding, I'm breastfeeding a lot and I'm not feeding a lot. I mean, I'm not drinking a lot. I just make jungle juice because it's also very nice, so it encourages you to drink. So that would be like a whole 3 liters that you'll just finish in one day. Breastfeeding really does dehydrate you. I remember when my mom was here, I used to sleep with her for the first 2 weeks, and every time I wake up to feed, she's handing me a glass of juice or water, and I'm just like, I know this lady. But obviously then he wasn't feeding a lot, so I didn't understand. But later on, it's like I used to go to bed with my own bottles just to drink. When I'm feeding, I'm drinking, because it would really dehydrate you, especially now in the hot season. So get that for milk production. It really helps. Another thing I didn't expect in terms of C-section, honestly, people have different experiences. My C-section experience was good, if that's even a word. It was okay. Like, it wasn't one of those things I'll be like, oh my god, I'll never do this again. Or it wasn't, no, I didn't get to experience the pain. I really didn't. The pain was well controlled, which I really pray that as medical professions, we focus on helping women manage pain control. There's already so much that she has to deal with. The person cannot be worrying about pain of the wound and all these things. Give adequate painkillers, please. It's just give it, okay? So, but the thing is, every time we used to stay up until like 1 a.m. with my mom and my husband, and we were just laughing, and you know, but I was always struggling to laugh with them because they are so funny, and I would be like, you know, holding myself when I'm laughing. It was not easy. Sneezing, coughing, it was really not easy. But yeah, it was an experience. Another thing was, oh yes, most people suffer from constipation when they give birth postpartum. I didn't get to, thank God, because also in the hospital where I delivered, they immediately already give you Movicol. I realize in the Northern Hospital they don't do that. So we find women that are struggling to go to the hospital, or let me just say in state, we really don't do that. People struggle to go to the toilet and all these things because they don't know what they should do or what they should use. So for us, immediately when you give birth, immediately you're able to take in food. I think for me it was even like 3 hours later they already said I can start with liquid diet, fluid diet, and then from there soft diet, and then normal food. So they already give you Movicol from the beginning. So it's still soft now. I've never struggled with going to the bathroom because of that. So whatever you do, if they don't give it to you in the hospital, please go get it for yourself at the pharmacy or Discam or wherever. Just make sure you get yourself some Movicol when you give birth. You do not want to go through that. Especially, imagine you got maybe a natural delivery and then you got maybe cut or like sutured or whatever. Now you must struggle with going to the toilet. Please don't do that to yourself. Go get that Movicol, sister girl. The other thing is also, a lot of pregnant women experience hemorrhoids. Some it resolves, some it doesn't. I also experience them. Luckily they resolve, but there's so many ways you can get this medicine called anosol. Maybe I shouldn't be prescribing, okay, but this is not medical. Okay, but anyways, yes, you can get anosol and all that from the pharmacy. Do sit baths at home with warm water. Sit in warm water with some salt or whatever. But yeah, it can go away. But if it's bleeding and all these things, go to the hospital, please. Don't just be home there trying to self-medicate. Just go to the hospital, or at least tell your doctor. The moment you have a hemorrhoid, tell your doctor, let them examine and see if it's something that can be treated at home that will resolve, or something that needs medical attention. But yeah, so that is also one thing that it happens because of the pressure in pregnancy. It happens to a lot of pregnant women. I know there's I don't know if it's black people or Shiwambo culture of trying to cut people's hemorrhoids traditionally. Apparently it's to heal. If the child gets sick, apparently if you cut it, it will heal the child. No, let's not try things at home, guys. Let's just go to the hospital. It's something medical. It's just dilated blood vessels, basically. It's not a voodoo what thing. Just, yeah, please, just, it's not a weird thing. Just go to the doctor if you need to go to the doctor. Don't go to your grandmother to go and cut it for you. Hey, I know, guys. The other thing also is fatigue. You are so exhausted, your body is beat down. Hey, like, it's so bad, that I really would never, I don't think I would want to visit a woman so early, especially the first 4-6 weeks after giving birth, unless they tell me I can come. You are so tired, you want to sleep all the time. At least for me, I really wanted to just sleep all the time. I had fatigue to the point that every time someone wanted to visit, I had anxiety. Just the thought of, if they come, I won't be able to sleep, and then I won't be able to sleep well at night, and what. Okay, people really didn't come that early because it's over COVID times and things like that, which I love that you respected that. But I just mean, I really understand. Please ask, don't show up to a new mother's house. Please ask if you can come. People are really tired. It's like you're recovering from 9 months or I don't know what, but I don't know what happens, but you are really tired. There's a lot of anxiety. So I remember at night when my mom woke up to make, just to, because the baby was sleeping for too long, so she had to wake him up. I guess it was also just the paranoia. But the one day for me, the baby slept very long, because in the afternoon we went outside. I think it was week 1, yeah. The stump fell off. We're having a braai outside. That's another thing I really didn't know. Apparently, when you give birth, the man should, or you should eat goat meat. Like he should get you goat. And you know, when my sister kept asking me, when is Tata Shilongo getting us a goat, I'm like, I'm not this girl. Why is she just on my case about my husband getting us a goat? For what? But then apparently it's a thing. And then they even want you to drink ongoka, like this, the sauce. Hi, no, me, I didn't do that. Luckily, because it wasn't, my sister forgot to switch off early. I'm not exposing you, I'm just saying. But so I didn't get to do that. But then they say apparently you need to eat and get full, like a lot. If you don't get full, Kama, you will never get full in your life. I don't know how true that is, but let's just go with it. So that day, baby was in the room, and then we brought the monitor outside, and there's a monitor in the room, right? Now, 1 hour passed. Now it's almost the 2nd hour. I started freaking out. I was so scared to go in the room. I had to ask my mom to go in, because I was listening, obviously, on the monitor. There's too much silence. He's not crying. He hasn't cried. And obviously, those days, I wasn't used to him sleeping that long. He wasn't a crying baby. He would be like he wants to feed and then goes back to sleep. But the silence was too much. I was like, I asked my mom to go in the room, and then I didn't know that she also was nervous. She was scared. So she went in and, yeah, woke him. He was fine. So that paranoia, it exists. It's a lot. I know some people even wake up to see their baby still breathing. You know, it's a scary time. Honestly, it's very, very scary. So I didn't expect that. I've seen people say, no, you wake up to see if your child is breathing. But I think for me personally, I didn't, that moment, that afternoon moment, I didn't expect. I was just like, yo, okay. But we keep praying, like, God, you just keep praying. The one thing I also want to say is community and help is very, very key. It's essential. It's important. You need help. I have newfound respect for single mothers, guys. If you have a friend who is a single mother, please reach out today. Ask them what you can do for them. Ask them, even if it just means preparing a meal for them. If they have another child, offer to babysit that other child. Even if it's their child and they are willing, offer to babysit that, just so that they can get a few moments of sleep or just bathroom time. Phil always jokes about, Kama, I like the bathroom. But sometimes I'm not there bathing. I'm just sitting, like, because it's like my moment. And I know if I'm in there, then they think, oh no, she's bathing. But I'm not. I'm really just about to start bathing, but I just need a time to myself. It's even bathing. I've learned to take 5-minute showers, which I never really used to do. I didn't know how to. I thought I could never. But I've learned to take 5-minute showers. And so community is important. Help is important. If I can tell you a name, I wanted to talk about postpartum blues and postpartum depression, but I'll talk about it in my next video because it will be a bit too long. Because of that, those very things I mentioned, it's so easy to fall into those. It's not something you ask for. And I had friends, like, shout out to those friends. I had the nannies, Monica's, my 2 ELOs, and my friend Caroline, who's all the way in Europe. These people would constantly text me and telling me, you are doing a great job. They are not even here, but they'll always tell me, you are doing a great job. Oof, we are not getting emotional. We are not. This is a good video. We're not getting emotional. But yeah, they constantly told me that. And I remember on one day I got an SMS. I think it was 2 of them. It was either Nani or Monica, those 2 friends who are not even in Namibia. These people are not even in Namibia here. They sent me basically the same thing. And they're just telling me I'm doing a great job, I'm a great mother, all these things. Little did they know that I just finished bawling my eyes out. My mom left. So I was left in that place where, what do I do now? What do I do with this child? Like, what do I do? So they sent me that, and it encouraged me so much that I'm doing a good job. I must be doing something right. So it's important for you to encourage your friends. Send them a message, tell them they're doing great. You might not even be there, but you don't understand how. Sure. Yeah, I didn't expect that. Like I said, my boy is not a crier, so that sounded like something sudden happened, so kind of got me scared. But anyways, yeah, I have an amazing auntie for my little boy. She is so amazing. I actually got discharged from the hospital like a day ago, and for the first time in 4 months I slept away from my child, and I was not worried, like in the sense that, oh my god, is he okay or is it what? I was really, she's so good with him, she loves him. And I remember the first time I remember I was struggling with him, and then she came, oh no, like my mom left, and then he was fussy that night. Now Phil was just like, what's going on, baby? This is how he always is. And I'm like, this is the first time. So we were there, like he sleeps, he wakes up, he was quite fussy, and she heard him from her room. It was 2 a.m. and she came to help us. She consoled him and put him back to sleep. Obviously at first I felt like, oh my god, like what kind of mother am I can't even console my own child. But I also appreciated that she cares enough to come all the way to come and console the child for me. So that built a lot of trust for me. And yeah, so really help is needed. Don't try and be superwoman. I know a lot of us try to be, but help is needed. I remember for me, the first 6 weeks, I didn't cook, I didn't drive. And it's not, sometimes not even because I didn't want to, I was always tired. And also every time I bend, like it would be a struggle. Like when I think I stopped washing him every single day myself from week 3 or so. Like Phil had to take over because I was struggling, because I used to, the basin would be on the bed and I would struggle. So it's really important to admit you need help, and don't try to do it all on your own. If people are offering the help, just accept it, okay? I know sometimes you just feel like you don't want to let go of your child and all these things, and people have different reasons. I am not even going to make anyone feel ashamed or bad for if you are the mother that is very clingy and whatever. No, but if you have the help, be it your husband, your friend, the child's auntie, the grandparents, all these things, accept the help and just rest. A happy mother is a good mother, so you need that. A healthy mother is a healthy mother, okay? So the other thing would be, they'll poop on you, they'll pee on you in the middle. I remember the first night my son pooped on me. It was at 3 a.m. I was changing his diaper, and I heard my mom giggle at night. And she was usually the one who was doing all that while I recover. But that night I was like, oh, let me let mommy rest. Let me just do it. So I struggled to get up and get on my knees and do this. And then I just had like, and I'm like, wow. But yeah, they do that. It's beautiful because you laugh and it's not bad. But it's also something I was just like, you can't say, no, my child won't poop on me, won't pee on me. It just comes like that. There is no like rumbling in the tummy first, warning sign, nothing, my dear. And then, the other thing also I didn't expect is the sucking of the nose. I use this nose feeder for his nose, like if he's having like a flu or something, which he doesn't have, but there are times when the nose you need to suck. But we once went to Okalongo and then we slept over there, so I didn't take the nose feeder. That night, my husband was like, no, babe, just express, I'll feed while you rest because I can tell you're very tired. So now he fed the child, and then, I don't know, maybe he fell asleep too, or, you know, sometimes you're feeding and then you can just, but then the milk went on the nose, because that happened with me as well. One day when I was feeding him, sleeping, I just gave him the breast and I was sleeping, and then I just saw the milk. Yo, that was the last day I ever fed him lying down. Never again. So in that moment, there is no time to be thinking of nose feeder, what. You will jump straight to your nose. Now the problem with that is I was trying to suck, nothing is coming out. The child is looking like he's drowning, and I kept trying to do everything. Eventually, but then the good thing, he was crying. So I also just started crying because I'm just like, now he was like, no, let's take him to Auntie Joanna, like the baby's auntie. Now she was in another room. But then I was just like, and then what, you know? Okay, that time he was much better, but then it's just like I was devastated because felt defeated. Like, I'm watching my child drown and I can't do much. I'm trying to suck, which I thought I would never be able to do, because I mean, we have like, but you will use that mouth, my dear. You not being able to see your child breathe, you will use that mouth, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, and that also brings me to my next point, that being a health professional really doesn't mean anything when it comes to motherhood. Okay, it does to some extent, but there's a lot that you just don't know. Like, there's a lot that medicine does not teach you, that you only learn in motherhood. I remember when one of my cousin and I, we both had our small babies. Now, me, I was telling her I was putting nasal saline drops in the Idril's nose, and then I'll use the nose feeder to suck. Now, she wanted to do the same for her baby, which she this stamina, I can't remember. It's like a spray man thingy that you spray in the nose to help instead of the drops. Now we're both like, okay, can you not, whatever. Now we're watching YouTube. Mind you, we're both doctors. We're watching YouTube. She even had to ask her mom so that they can do it together, you know. And she was like, won't I irrigate the baby's brain? You know, obviously it's a joke, but it's just one of those things where you really realize that this motherhood thing, there's no classroom that will help you prepare for this. So it was very funny, but it also it humbles you. It really humbles you. And that's why when you get advice sometimes from a mother, and like an experienced mother, they just mean well. They're just sometimes sharing from their own experience. I remember my friend once saying like, oh, you probably already know this, you know, you being a doctor. And I told her like, my love, I've never done this. So any advice you give me, I will take it. And that's another thing which is on my point, né? You get advice. Some is unsolicited advice that you can just listen to and shove it away, and some is really good advice that you should take. Whatever you do, just listen. There's, you know, there's always some nuggets to pick here and there, but when people try and advise, they usually mean well. There are those though that are just like haters. Like, I remember just a week ago, I was like trying to feed my child, and then I was like doing him, like trying to rock him to sleep. And then she says, and then the lady tells me, no, don't do that. And then I'm like, huh? But actually in church. And then she's like, don't do that. He'll get used to it. And I'm like, this is my 4-month-old child. That rocking, he'll get used to it. Okay. I obviously she means well, but I'm just like, yo, there we are past this. It's the same way people will tell you, no, don't let the child sleep on your chairs. He'll get used to it. Guys, how is a 2-week-old going to lunduka? I get the point. Sometimes the point is, sometimes babies get used to certain things that they are unable to adapt to something else. Maybe like if you go to work, then the person that will stay at home with them will struggle to do that for them. Oh, I don't know really, but I'm just saying there are certain things that if your child is struggling, like people who have babies who are struggling with colic, the tummy problem and everything, if putting your child on the chest is soothing your child, how is that supposed to be a problem? I mean, I just don't understand. I really don't understand. It's not like you are saying, no, when this child turns 3 years old, they're just going to want to be lying on your chest all the time. No, this is a phase, and it ends. Let me enjoy this phase and let my child enjoy this phase. This is the only period that your child gets to sit on your lap 24/7 or the whole time. It's going to be a point where I'm looking at my sister's son. He's 4 years old. Sometimes you're like, Sinclair, come, you want to put him on your lap. He doesn't want anymore. He just wants to run away and be on his tab or watch TV. But this boy used to be on my lap every day when I was staying with him. So let it just be, just allow. So you will get a lot of unsolicited advice, but there's also advice that is really helpful, and you should take it. It really helps. I think some of the other things I will continue in a part 2. I'm just going to end this here. So yes, do share some of the things that you have learned in your journey as a mother, and just what advice that you are able to give. I know I just spoke about unsolicited advice here, but what are the things that surprised you most in your journey as a mother, and share and help a mother or two out there. So yeah, until next time guys, bye.